Mm-hmm. And on this Saturday night, we will have Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals as the Brooklyn Nets, 7th seed in the East, are trying to even up the series. They've lost the past 2 games in the series after winning Game 1. The Milwaukee Bucks, on the other hand, are trying to look to win 3 games in a row in the series and have looked very bright since Game 1's loss. Big game. What have you seen in the Bucks' changes in Game 2 and 3 that has allowed them to win both games?
Well, you've seen Giannis Antetokounmpo have very underrated games. I wouldn't even say underrated games, but yeah, the games, they fly under the radar. We see like he doesn't play. He doesn't do much, and then he has his spurts, and all of a sudden, he's up to 20 points in the third quarter. He's been the leading scorer, but really in the last, some help from Eric Bledsoe. Middleton's knocked up a few shots. He's had a contributor off the bench. Obviously, Robin Lopez had a huge defensive game in this game. Um, the Bucks to come back and take a lead in the series. On the Brooklyn side, obviously, after Game 1, Kyrie Irving came out, shot the ball super well. He had help, put up a huge number, and now, you're looking at, uh, the big men for Brooklyn haven't been great, but they've been pretty solid. I mean, in the last few years, they've had the mismatch and advantage, and they haven't. And I mean, that's a big key for Brooklyn if they're going to get some help from, anybody other than Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan to help out Kyrie Irving.
And big game with those pregame notes in mind. Do we think Brooklyn has what it takes to win here in Game 4 on their home court to tie up this series?
Well, I think they do. I mean, you look back at Game 1 and just how well Kyrie Irving played. I thought, the Bucks shot very poorly in that Game 1 at home, but Brooklyn was able to take advantage of that and come out with a win. So it could easily happen again here, but that's not the start you want here. It's already legal screen and a turnover on the first possession for Brooklyn, and that's another thing. They got to keep their turnovers low. You saw late in Game 3, they had multiple turnovers and bad shot play in that fourth quarter, which allowed the Bucks to take the lead, and they couldn't match because they just had turnovers one after another late in that game.
And Lopez will start the game with a 3 for the Bucks. And he hasn't been shooting the best in this series 3-point wise, so it hasn't allowed the Bucks to space out the floor as much. Oh, and Giannis blocks that shot by Jared Allen, but fouls on the second one, and that's not what you like to see as a Bucks fan. An early foul on Giannis. And Jared Allen will go 1 or 2 at the line. The free throws in this series have had their ups and downs for both teams, but overall it's been the Stars really in the spotlight at the free throw line as Giannis and Kyrie Irving have shot pretty good percentages. Oh, nice pass by Eric Bledsoe to Chris Middleton in the paint, and that's what you like to see, getting the others involved besides Giannis. Oh, and now if Eric Bledsoe picks up his first, and lots of fouls early for both teams. Not a good sign. And big game, any ideas why we haven't seen much out of Joe Harris and Karis LeVert like we saw in the semifinals and first round?
Well, it's been shocking that we haven't seen much help from Kyrie Irving, and we, as I said before, is a lob there to Giannis. We saw how good the big men for Brooklyn have been, but Karis LeVert has kind of been pretty quiet. Joe Harris, he was aggressive. I believe that was in Game 1 or Game 2. He was very. I think it was Game 2. He was very aggressive, had a couple of threes, mid-rangers, drove the ball and got fouled a couple times. But other than that, we have not seen the guards for Brooklyn other than Kyrie Irving be really aggressive.
And that's what you like to see as we're talking about him. Joe Harris hits a mid-range and cuts the Bucks lead down to 1. Oh, Giannis trying to attack Jared Allen. He's going to miss. Good defense.
And that's been the surprising part that we've seen is Kyrie pulls up for three here and drains it. We've seen Giannis kind of struggle in the first quarters of games getting going with Jared Allen and DeAndre Jordan on the floor. But it seems like after this little, he piles like 4 to 6, 8 points. But it seems like, he has multiple turnovers. He starts off kind of slow. But eventually in that second quarter and from then on, especially in the second half, usually he just gets going and the big men can't stop him.
And that speaks to his teammate as well. Eric Bledsoe has not had any good first halves in this series, but the past 2 games that the Bucks have won, he's had huge fourth quarters, and it looks like that's going to be the situation tonight as well. Eric Bledsoe has 2 fouls in this game, is already subbed out. So the Bucks are going to have to rely upon George Hill a lot, which shouldn't be too much of an issue. Oh, and here comes Chris Middleton. He's up to 4 points, and we'll see if he can fill the void of Eric Bledsoe in the first half.
Well, and you'd think that he'd be the man to step up. We saw Brook Lopez try and step up in that game 3, but really struggled from the field, could not hit anything. Uh, they're going to need a second score out there if Eric Bledsoe's in foul trouble early.
Ball in George Hill's hands. They're trying to get shooters open. But looks like they're going to have to sell for a Giannis isolation on Jared Allen. Here he comes, and he dunks right past him. And that's been the way Giannis has been able to create a shot for himself. He has to use his speed to his advantage and create some space between him and Jared Allen. Otherwise, Jared Allen does have the size to be able to contain him in the post. Spencer Dinwiddie for 3. He hits. The Nets looking pretty good to start.
Good sign for Brooklyn. Dinwiddie drills a 3 there. We have not seen much scoring out of him so far in the series. Giannis steps out there. Another turnover in the first quarter for Giannis here in this Eastern Conference Finals so far.
Chris Middleton gets the rebound right over Jared Allen and DeAndre Jordan. He's going to attack Kyrie Irving now into the post, but blocked by Allen. Oh, now DeAndre Jordan wide open, easy layup. Here comes Wesley Matthews, and that's a 3-pointer in the corner. The Bucks just sticking around despite the Nets' hot streak so far. And now Joe Harris in the post. He passes it over. They got to take a shot. Dinwiddie can't make the shot there. About 3-second differential on the shot clock. Seems like Giannis and the Bucks are going to try and waste as much time as they can. We'll see who has the ball in their hands. Giannis shoots a 3. Oh, but Brook Lopez is there. Great rebound to tie it up. We'll see if the Nets can hit a miracle shot. Hits back iron and is not in, and remain tied at 13 at the end of the first quarter. And we're back in the second quarter of the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 4, so far, very close game 4. We'll probably see a bit more of the benches in the second quarter as they will be resting the stars. But Kyrie Irving back out there, as we've seen a lot of the series, for a second quarter and a longer run that Coach Kenny Atkinson just has seemed to take interest in, and then allows him to rest most of the end of halves or the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and you'd like to see this strategy really pan out here. You have Dinwiddie and Kyrie, your top two scorers, in against the Milwaukee bench. You'd like to see them possibly extend the lead here. Obviously, in the last possession, you saw Lopez with the height advantage over Taurean Prince and able to finish.
Oh, and not a smart foul there, as Robin Lopez seemed to have the defensive mismatch with Musa, but he fouls him in the post. And Caris LeVert hits a three. He has not had many of those in this series. If the Nets are to win a game tonight, they're going to need him, and Joe Harris. Korver off the screen, wide open. Can't hit. Here comes Musa. But it's going to go to Taurean Prince in the paint. Finishes for the Nets' 3-point lead.
Nice little Spurs here by Brooklyn. Something that they needed with this squad out there that they have. A lot of scores, a lot of options.
And there's a turnover by Robin Lopez. Oh, wide open pass to Taurean Prince again. And now the Nets have a 5-point lead. And big game, if you're the Bucks, how do you settle down this run right now?
Well, with the bench in, yeah, I wouldn't expect them to, be able to really run with the top guys. Oh, and Taurean Prince able to hustle and get it. After that ball was on the floor for a while, and he's going to the line after Ersan fouls him. You'd like to see DiVincenzo. Obviously Bledsoe's out there now too. Those are your probably top two scorers, but you could also, look at the post. You saw the first possession that they had this quarter. They had Robin Lopez, Taurean Prince on him, able to finish, and another good defensive possession there by Brooklyn.
Big game out of nowhere in this second quarter. Taurean Prince with 6 points. I know 2 of those came on the fast break, but you need the X factor if you can. Oh, now Musa blocks Pat Connaughton after Claxton blocked Dante DiVincenzo in last possession. Now Marvin Williams blocks Prince.
We have a block party here in this second quarter. Blocks on each end, multiple times on driving layups.
But the issue so far, the Bucks have allowed the Nets to go on a 9-2 run to start the second quarter. Caris LeVert fadeaway, and he hits. And this combination of LeVert and Taurean Prince in the second quarter has been a big surprise, but it's working out there, as they have all 11 points between those two in the second quarter.
And that's the kind of Caris LeVert that you want. Off that pick and roll, makes a nice move, mid-range jumper.
And the Bucks bench really struggling here. They just cannot find the right shot. Oh, and now Prince again. He has 8 points this quarter. And look at the field goal percentages. On the same amount of shots, Bucks only shooting 39% compared to the Nets 56%.
And it's really just all been a second quarter run here to really, for Brooklyn to really make this game the lead, I should say, make the lead a lot larger than it has been all game long.
Oh, but Bledsoe's going to try and silence it there as he hits a fadeaway three. The last second of the shot clock, and that's a much needed shot for the Bucks. It seems like some subs are coming to the scores table, probably most of the Bucks starting lineup to try and get a run before the quarter ends. LeVert, 5 seconds left. He's going to have to take a tough shot. Fadeaway three. Ooh, goes over the backboard, out of bounds. Big game. It seems like the Bucks are going to go with the small ball lineup as Giannis will come in at center with Marvin Williams at power forward. They like doing this right before halftime. What have you had to say about this strategy for the Milwaukee Bucks?
It's they've been aggressive, almost too aggressive in my opinion. They have a lot of fast breaks for Brooklyn, which if you're Brooklyn with the big men like they usually ride out on the floor, that's something the Bucks should not be giving up very much of, but they have. Another block there by Giannis. Jordan now goes up, but they can't finish.
And we'll see if the Bucks can capitalize in the fast break. Wide open, Marvin Williams. Good pass by Middleton. And they cut it down to 6. Under a minute left now. Oh, now a turnover, and George Hill has in the fast break. 4-point game, and if you're the Nets, big game, this is not what you need to end the half. They've had a lot of opportunities to have bigger leads going into halftime, and this is what happens usually at the end of the second quarter.
Well, and what you look at is how Brooklyn started the quarter. You have Kyrie Irving, Dinwiddie out there. You had your score against the Milwaukee bench. That's your scoring lineup, and they really take advantage of it. But now without Kyrie out there, you have a bigger lineup out there, and the Bucks with most of their stars back in have been able to cut into this lead a little bit. A nice answer though there by Brooklyn. Lead up to 6, and the Bucks should hold for the last shot here in the half with 10 seconds left.
We'll see if they can cut into this 6-point lead. Under 5 seconds now. Giannis takes the three, can't hit, and it looks like Taurean Prince does get the shot off on time, but hits out. And 28-22 is your score going into halftime. Nets lead. And we're going to head into our halftime show. And that big second quarter run was the reason the Nets have a lead right now is Taurean Prince scores 8 points surprisingly in that second quarter. And that's exactly what you want as a Nets fan, as well as Spencer Dinwiddie adding in that three-pointer and his 2 rebounds leading them, as well as Caris LeVert with 5 points. And the Bucks not looking too good in that second quarter, but they cut the lead down, and at least it's only at 6 right now. But you can see the rebound game not looking too good, and that might be because of the Bucks' misses. So far, the defenses have been pretty even, steals and blocks wise, as well as playmaking. The Bucks should have an opening still in this game, as Giannis only has 4 points in this game, and the other guys on the team are still keeping them close, and this is what we've seen in games 2 and 3. So I'm sure Giannis will have something special in store for the second half. And we're back in the third quarter for the second half of the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 4. The Nets trying to defend their home court and tie up this series, but the Bucks do not want to see this series tied and want a commanding 3-1 lead. They're going to go Chris Middleton in the post to start it off. We've not seen much of this, and he makes it. He's up to 6 points in the game. Oh, and it's a lob to Caris LeVert, blocked by Lopez. And here comes Giannis. Oh, he passes it to Middleton. Mid-range. Oh, no, it's a 3. He did get his foot behind the line. He's up to 9 points.
A nice start here for the Bucks to start the second half. The lead down to 1 for Brooklyn now.
Oh, Kyrie misses, and the Bucks have a chance to take the lead. Big game. How disappointing is this as a Nets fan? You had a big lead, possibly between 9 to 11 points, and now the Bucks have a chance to cut it down to actually take the lead here.
Well, you've seen them go a little bit stagnant all the way back to about halfway through that second quarter. They started struggling scoring and allowed the Bucks to cut into the lead, before halftime. And obviously now the Bucks on every possession have had a chance to take the lead the last couple of times on the floor, 'cause Brooklyn has not been able to score here in this second half so far.
Oh,
And
blocked
another
by
block for the
Giannis.
Bucks.
And the surprising factor has been Chris Middleton, and now Eric Bledsoe scores, giving the Bucks a lead. Chris Middleton has 9 points in this game, big game, while Giannis only has 4.
And I think, something we've seen out of Giannis is sometimes he does struggle and put up, not great first halves, but he's always put up some great fourth quarters, especially in this series. But throughout the playoffs, there's the LeVert drills a three there and a good answer, and the first bucket for Brooklyn here in this second half.
Well, and speaking of surprises, Kyrie Irving. We haven't really said his name much in this game besides that deep three in the first quarter. He hasn't had to do much in this game as Karis LeVert has 8 points in this game, and Taurean Prince has 8 points. And now another block by the Nets as well. These defenses are really showing up for
And that
both
one to
teams.
Jared Allen. Giannis grabbed the offense rebound over DeAndre Jordan, tried to go back up quick, but Jared Allen with the help side there came over quick and able to swat him.
Kyrie Irving shoots a three, and he hits. 5-point Nets lead. Great answer by the Nets to hit back-to-back threes after giving up the lead. And the Bucks are going to bring in some of their bench players here. Dante DiVincenzo, Korver, Ersan Ilyasova, and Brook Lopez will stay out there, and they're going to give it to him in the post. Ooh, he does not take a fadeaway. And Pat Connaughton also out there for the Bucks. It looks like he's going to have to take a shot mid-range in the paint. Can't hit. The Nets look to extend their lead in this third quarter. And big game, what have you seen out of Kyrie Irving in this game? Is he trusting his teammates, or has he just been kind of absent in their offense in this game?
Well, yeah, he really hasn't been as aggressive, as he was in those first few games. You saw him take the majority of the shots, especially in the first quarter and fourth quarter of those games. And so for tonight, I feel like he's been a lot more relaxed and allowed other players to score and really help him out.
Oh, Lopez, great dish from Pat Connaughton. He's going to score in the paint. And you look at those field goal percentages, rare for the Bucks to give up back-to-back halves like this big game. What have you seen that's gone differently with their defense?
Well, I feel like they've given up some more wide open threes here in the second half than they did that first half. And really, this game reminds me a lot of the Raptors series. The Bucks obviously shooting poorly, similar to the Raptors, and Brooklyn, took advantage of the Raptors in that first series by really hitting threes and handling the lead the majority of the game. And so far in this game four, that's what they've done against the Bucks. If they can keep it up in the fourth quarter, that's the question. We'll have to wait and see about with how good the Bucks are being a one seed. I think you'll see more of an answer than you did out of the Raptors.
And head coach Kenny Atkinson really thought it was a missed opportunity in Game 3. The Nets had a good chance to take a 2-1 lead, and now Ersan Ilyasova will get a second foul. And Taurean Prince has a chance to get to double digits if he can hit both free throws here. They were up most of the game in Game 3, but the Bucks just kept coming back. But Taurean Prince will go 1 for 2 from the line. And the Bucks just had a very good end of the game run between Bledsoe and Giannis, and there was just no coming back from that. Oh, and now Musa will foul Ersan Ilyasova. The lead is cut down to 6. And big game, we haven't seen much Giannis in this third quarter, so should we expect him to be out there the whole fourth quarter?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a majority of Giannis Antetokounmpo playing in the fourth quarter. I think part of that is just Mike Budenholzer's, decision making, but I think a lot of that is also Budenholzer thinking, you hold out Giannis most of this third quarter, he'll be fresh to go in the fourth quarter. The Bucks have held it pretty close here, a big run out of Giannis, and the Bucks could have the lead in this game in the fourth quarter if Giannis can drive in and hit shots.
But Spencer Dinwiddie's got an answer for that as he hits a floater in the paint to get the lead back up to 6 as we have about 2 to 3 second shot clock differential. And we'll see if the Bucks have another answer before the third quarter's over. Ilyasova's going to hand it over to DiVincenzo. About 3 seconds left. He's going to have to take a tough 3. Can't hit. And they're not going to get shot up either after the Nets rebound. And Brooklyn leads the quarter 41 to 35 going into the fourth. And we're back in the Barclays Center for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And our State Farm assist of the game, Spencer Dinwiddie, no-look one-handed pass over Taurean Prince on that huge third quarter run by second and third quarter runs by Taurean Prince, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Caris LeVert. And big game, what should we expect out of the fourth quarter from the two stars in this one between Kyrie and Giannis?
Well, I think you'll see Kyrie probably sit, later in this fourth quarter, but I think you'll see Giannis play all the fourth quarter, and Giannis will be very, very aggressive as Dinwiddie starts off with an and one here. Ersan picks up his third.
And the Bucks are going to go with that lineup that cut into that second quarter lead where instead of Marvin Williams, you'll see Ilyasova out there at the power forward position, Giannis in at center. Well, the Nets seem to also be going small as only Claxton out there, so this is a good chance for Giannis to dominate in the paint. But he's going to take a fadeaway too. Prince tries to score again, but gets swatted by Giannis. Middleton, pull up mid-range, he hits. And he's in double figures now too. 7-point lead for the Nets. And the Bucks have a chance to cut it down. And here comes Giannis in the paint, can't finish. Those are ones that you have to capitalize on.
Especially, it looked like it was a 5v4 there. Dinwiddie thought he was fouled and was down on the other end, but the Bucks could not score. Oh, now Bledsoe drives an and one. Prince picks up the foul.
And that's a great answer by Eric Bledsoe. He sheds off the contact, takes a little fadeaway layup there, and he finishes the three-point play to cut down to 4 now. All right, big game. It seems we're going to see both complete starting lineups now. Very key stretch in this fourth quarter. And now the Bucks cut it to 2. That's treading lightly in this fourth quarter after being up 9 at one point. And Kyrie cannot. Oh, but Jarrett Allen has an answer. Off Kyrie Irving's missed 3, he posterizes Wesley Matthews off the offensive rebound.
And Jarrett Allen, big play there. Obviously, they got their bigs in again, Allen and DeAndre Jordan. And a turnover there by Bledsoe, a bad pass there right to Joe Harrison. Now Brooklyn on the fast break. Irving, open three, corner, can't get it to go.
And that is his third missed three in this quarter. How surprised are you by that big game?
Well, you don't see Kyrie Irving miss multiple threes, especially in a row, very often, especially in fourth quarters of games. Uh, usually in fourth quarters he's been known to take off. Jordan gets it off the backboard, can't finish. So Jared Allen out corner three. Irving again. Can he hit this one? He does. What a possession there by Brooklyn. Giannis able to tip the lob that was to DeAndre Jordan, intended for DeAndre Jordan. It goes off the backboard. DeAndre Jordan grabs it, misses the layup. Jared Allen then grabs it and kicks out to Kyrie Irving for an open three. And now Giannis is fouled and going to the line.
Just under the 3-minute marker. Bucks not playing the worst defense here, but really it's been the offensive rebounds that are giving the Nets more opportunities to capitalize off these misses. Kyrie Irving looking for isolation, but no, he's going to pass over to Caris LeVert. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. They're going to have to take a quick shot. Kyrie Irving for three. Another offensive rebound, but it's tipped, it seems, and Jared Allen does not get it, and it's going to go to Giannis, who misses a layup now in the paint. Brook Lopez there. Can't finish, but is fouled. And these long possessions by both teams been very odd in this fourth quarter big game.
It has. You've seen both offenses be a lot more aggressive here. In my opinion, Giannis obviously driving in, and he's missed a couple of layups. You've seen Kyrie Irving shoot a bunch of threes so far, but and that's been, I think, the difference. Kyrie Irving hitting some threes, and now LeVert down the lane, and the lead is back up to 6 now with 2 minutes left.
You look at that huge performance by him. 12 points, plus 12, 4 of 9 from the field. That's what you really needed from someone else, and Taurean Prince's 9 points as well is just huge for this Nets team.
Well, and that's what we talked about, pregame, that, who's going to be really the X factor. But now with the X factor, who's going to step up and help Kyrie Irving out? We knew the big men have shown that they can do it. But they need somebody else, and in this game, it's been Caris LeVert. LeVert was kind of a no-show so far in most of the series, but tonight he has really come out strong and helped them have a lead here late in this game 4 to try and tie up the series.
And despite Kyrie Irving struggles from the three-point line in this game 4, he's still our player of the game if the Nets can hold on to this game. Oh, Giannis in the paint again. He gets blocked, and this has been one of his worst performances in the playoffs, big game. This has been a really great performance out of the Nets. And now Caris LeVert scores again. 8-point lead, and he's shooting 50% from the field. It's going to take a big run here by the Bucks as well as some defensive stops.
Yeah, as you said, a very rare off game. Maybe the first or possibly second game we always Giannis gets an end one here. But Giannis, he struggled. He's had a couple of games where he hasn't missed a shot so far in these playoffs, but tonight really has struggled.
Well, we'll see if Giannis can pick it up in this last minute, 20 seconds, and try and make a huge run. But Kyrie Irving has an answer, and he hits a three over Bledsoe. Back up to 8 and erases that three-point play by Giannis. That is a nightmare of a shot if you're a Bucks fan, as you want to take a 3-1 lead in this series. But Giannis is going to drive again. Fouled again, but rolls out, and he's going to go to the line for 2. Misses the first. And you look at those stats there, big game. 10 points, 8 rebounds. Oh, and he misses another free throw. That's going to be costly for the Bucks.
And I think you have to give the real credit to the Brooklyn Bigs here in this game, as they've really, held Giannis down. And, Giannis, I believe that is probably the playoff low for Giannis Antetokounmpo, 10 points. Even if he gets a couple more baskets here, I still think that could be his low, because most games he's been in the 20s.
And it seems like the Nets just too much in this fourth quarter despite the run, and they now hold a 10-point lead. And I think you got to give it to Karis LeVert. His Kyrie Irving's hit some clutch shots here, but Karis LeVert was here all game, and he really held the Nets together offensively. Oh, and Giannis gets blocked on the alley-oop, and the Nets might just hold it here to end the game. And 58 to 48 is your final in Game 4, as the Nets will see at least to a Game 6 in this series, and they're not going down quietly. And now we'll head into our post-game show. And we look at the Nets side. Big game, lots of threes from Kyrie Irving in that fourth quarter, and before that, he really wasn't taking many shots, and the ball was mostly in Karis LeVert's hands. We talked about his absence in this series, and look at that. He finally shows up, 16 points, as well as 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 4 on threes, and 2 of 2 from the line. Anything else on the Nets side?
When you just look, I mean, Kyrie Irving, I believe, hit 3 of his 4 threes there in that fourth quarter. And, Karis LeVert, this is the first time I think we've seen somebody even come close to matching what Kyrie Irving has put up for Brooklyn on the offensive end, both with 16. Major help, Taurean Prince off the bench, Spencer Dinwiddie off the bench. Their bench really was able to put in some buckets against Milwaukee's tonight, and I think that was one of the underlying factors in why they were able to pull away late in this game and hold on to tie this series up.
And we go over to the Bucks side. Not what you want to see is Giannis surprisingly shoots 4-13 from the field. And like you said, his playoff low so far as his previous was 15 points against Orlando. But in that game, he had a very great overall game in points, rebounds, blocks, assists, and steals. But in this game, he just struggled. He had 4 blocks, though, defensively. But going in that paint against Jared Allen or DeAndre Jordan was just not his night tonight. But Chris Middleton was there for the first time in the series in double figures, 11 points, and Eric Bledsoe there again with 8 points. But that bench kind of struggled, and there was some runs where the Nets would take a 6 to 11 point lead at times, and the bench just didn't really show up against the Brooklyn bench and Spencer Dinwiddie, Taurean Prince, and even when Karis LeVert was out there running with the bench. Anything else, big game?
When I see the first 5, players on the point list, all starters, so that just right there tells you something about how poorly the bench played. And also, Giannis shooting 4-13, very rare to see that. Just had a very off night. And for once, he got help from Bledsoe and Middleton, both of them. Usually it's one or the other, but they both stepped up tonight. But it wasn't enough. And, this series is tied up 2-2 going back to Milwaukee. And now this is a best of 3 for a series. Brooklyn, making this a series. Nobody really expected them to be here as the 7th seed. And now they're putting up a battle against the 1 seed Bucks here in the Eastern Conference Finals.
And that's going to be our final in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. 58 to 48 as the Nets defend their home court in Game 4, and they will be headed to Milwaukee for Game 5. Very pivotal in the series. That's all we have for this game, but up next, the Lakers will go for the sweep against the Houston Rockets in Houston. See you soon.